Good people of YouTube, my name is Spanner, welcome back for some more Deathgate. I have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is that I recorded 4 episodes, but my voice got all weird during the recording, so I will have to do these again. The good news is, since I have done these, I have finished Abarak, so this will probably won't take as long. So let's do it. So over here, over here we have a dog, we have a stake, and a key. We also have the hunger spell and the possession spell. Those will be very useful tools. We should also note that we are under a timer, like on the Tower of the Brotherhoods. We only have a limited set of turns, I guess, until we die from the poison. So we'll have to do this fairly quickly. So, first order of business, we give the stake to the dog. You toss the stake toward the dog. It lands about a foot away from you. The dog eyes it with disinterest. Evidently, it has eaten recently. You feel a bit weaker. Your stomach turns in reaction to something you ate. So, dog does not want to eat a steak. However, if we cast hunger on the dog, you trace the rune structure in the air. It floats over to the curious dog who attempts to take a bite out of it. Instead, it sinks into his body. Immediately, the dog begins to salivate. It looks around for something to eat, anything. The rare steak, lying on the ground, catches the hound's eye. It bounds over next to you and rips into the bloody meat as if its life depended on it. Okay, so remember, we need to be touching in order to use the possession spell, which we will use right now. So cast possession on the dog. You trace the runes in the air and place your hand on the dog's scruffy fur. The magic swiftly takes hold. You stiffen as you feel your soul passing away. Everything spins and you begin to panic. It all goes dark. The darkness doesn't last long. You quickly come to your senses, but instantly discover that they aren't the same senses you've come to expect. Your vision now only perceives the world in shades of grey, although your hearing and sense of smell have been enhanced. You realize that you inhabit the body of the dog, and that this dog has been trained to track game by smell. This must be the body of Clytus's royal hunting hounds. So it's cool, we're not the dog, we can see Haplo here, and Edmund, and it's all in shades of grey. So we need to find, we can give the key to Edmund and to ourselves, but we are too weak from the poison to do anything. So as the dog, we will have to find the poison, the antidote, not the poison. We cannot open this door because we are a dog, so we will go upstairs. You pad up the stairs, passing a number of alert guards. They pat you on the head and smile, but allow you to pass. It seems that this dog has run of the palace. After a bit of exploration, which involves sticking your nose into a lot of empty rooms, you discover the original banquet room that you were escorted to. You've taken a good deal of time to locate it, however, and you're very worried about the condition of your body. Okay, so these are the bottles. However, we are a dog. We can't tell the color of the bottles. And we know that the antidote is in a bottle with a clear liquid. So the first time I did this, I just picked up bottles at random. I eventually died a couple of times, but it was the second bottle that I picked. but when I gave the antidote to Haplo, he actually mentioned the correct way to do the puzzle, which is to look at this tablecloth. We also cannot distinguish them by smell, so keep that in mind. So if we look at the tablecloth, the banquet table is covered by a plain white tablecloth with a border of lines that is distorted as it passes behind the colored bottles in the bar. You remember from your previous visit that the lines are each a different color, although as a dog, all you can make out are shades of gray. So you see here we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... How many are these? 1, 2, 3, 6 lines, I think? Yeah, 6. So if you take a look here, we see the lines, but once they pass through this bottle, there's a line missing. This is because it's probably the same color as the liquid in the bottle. The same for this one, the same for this one at the bottom, the same for this one, and the same for this one. All of these lines have these well, they disappear when they pass through the liquid, when they pass behind liquids with the same color. So you cannot distinguish them anymore. You only see a big line. This one, however, we can see all the lines, so we can deduce that this liquid is clear. You grab onto the neck of the bottle with your canine teeth and slide it onto the bar. So we'll give the bottle to Edmund. The prince guzzles about half of the clear liquid. The effect is immediate. The pain drains from his face and body. He hands the bottle back to you with a sigh of relief. We'll take the key ring. Oh, we can only carry an object at a time, so let's give the bottle to Haplo. Take the key. Give the key to Edmund.
Thanks, Rover.
You drop the key near the sartan prince. He takes it, unlocks his manacles, and tosses it back to you. Now we give the key to Haplo. And now to break the spell, we'll just touch Haplo. You nuzzle your motionless body. The contact sparks the transference of your soul. The familiar dizziness overwhelms you, and when you recover, you're back in your human body. The dog looks at you with trusting, loyal eyes. Evidently, some bond was created when you passed your soul into its body. It slides up to you, intent on accompanying you wherever you go. The room darkens. Blotches of color obscure your vision. You can barely lift your limbs. So let's take the bottle and drink from it. You finish off the liquid from the clear bottle, grateful that you were able to tell it from the colored bottles when it didn't filter out any of the multicolored lines on the tablecloth. See? And here is a solution to the puzzle. You feel the effects at once. The knots in your stomach loosen and the weight lifts from your limbs. You can feel that the liquid has cured you. So now we take the key and use the key on the manacles. You slide the key into the lock, holding your manacles shut. A quick twist pops the shackles open. We will also now take this vice. It's ours now. Okay, let's speak with Edmund.
Yes, my friend?
Would you accompany me? I'm looking to get out of here.
I'd be happy to. Let's leave while we can.
Okay, Edmund and the dog are now accompanying us.
Behind a panel in that wall is a tunnel which leads directly to the docks. We should be able to sneak out to your ship and sail away before they know what's happening. When we're away, I'll direct you to the caves where my people hide. I must tell them about the situation here, and perhaps they can help you as well.
Okay, so we can now go left, back into our ship. Cool.
This is an incredible vessel. Great workmanship. I've never seen anything like it. I assume that the steering is similar to the ships that I've piloted. If you'll give me leave, I'll take us to the secret caves on the edge of the Fire Sea.
You nod and Edmund, smiling, plants himself in front of the steering wheel. Okay, so now we're going into those caves. The dragon ship has landed on a shallow gravel beach below a small cave.
Thank you, my friend, for helping me escape. I will be forever in your debt, and I intend to help you in your quest. Right now, however, I must speak with some of the elders. I have to tell them about Clytus, and we must make plans. If you go back to the palace, I will meet you there. We have a few ships ourselves that can take me. Until then, farewell.
The prince disappears into the mob of Sartan. So, a couple of things to note here. Here are some gamblers. Here is Balthazar. We've been in his study before. And this cave wall. One of the cave walls feels like rock and looks like rock, but has an otherworld quality to it. Something about it isn't right. The dog sniffs around the wall to the east. Okay, let's start by speaking with the gamblers. You go through your repertoire of attention-getting devices, finally deciding on a straightforward tap on the shoulder. This causes the recipient to suddenly drop the playing pieces he was shaking in his hands. He starts to protest, but when the other players begin to moan, his head drops to look at the winning throw and he laughs.
That was my luckiest throw of the night, and I owe it all to you.
Other players reluctantly hand over small white stones to the winner, which he accepts gracefully. Then he turns to you and says that.
What are you doing?
Doing? Why, we're playing Runebone. It passes the time while we're waiting for the prince to decide what we're going to do. I was losing all night until you nudged me. That last throw made up for my entire losing streak.
What are those stones you won?
They're not stones. They're rune bones. We make them from animal bones. Each unique rune bone has an individual rune carved into it, but they all interlock. When you throw them down, they form a design. If the bones fall in such a way that they form a legal spell, you win, and all the other players must contribute one of their rune bones to you. If no recognized spell is formed, you lose the bones you threw. Once you run out of rune bones, you're out of the game.
Are these spells real? Can you cast them?
Of course not. The runes are all fictitious. We made up the runes and the spells when we made up the game. Although when I created some of my runes, I snuck a peek at a few of the bookworm's old tomes. I wanted the runes to look authentic.
So this guy made his runes by looking at Balthazar's tomes. This is actually important. We will and we will understand why once we reach the next world. That is when I stopped. I stopped in the next world because I got stuck right at the start and didn't know what to do. I had to take a quick peek at the walkthrough, and apparently the puzzle is something that I would not have thought of that. So, but we'll see that when we get there.
Since I was responsible for your throw, don't you owe me some of your winnings?
Sure, my friend. I guess you did bring me luck on my heaviest bet. I suppose I could let you have a few, just so you can practice a little at the game. If you get good enough, maybe we'll let you join in.
He dumps 4 rune bones into your hands.
Are you hot, or is it just me?
It's just you.
That's all. Thanks, pal.
No problem.
His attention swings back to the game at hand, where he gets into an argument over the legitimacy of a thrown spell. So we got these runes. We got these rune bones, which have runes taken from Balthazar's books. Speaking of which, let's speak with Balthazar.
How can I help you?
You have to clear your throat repeatedly before the thin man lifts his sunken eyes from the book. When he does, you feel the piercing, burning intelligence of his gaze. Although his body is old and frail, you sense that his mind is as sharp as any you've encountered. He quickly looks you over and says, "How can I help you?"
Are you Balthazar?
That I am. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. Who did you say you were?
I'm a friend of Edmund's. We met in Clytus's dungeon.
Ah, of course. I thought I saw Edmund return. You assisted in his rescue? For that we are eternally grateful. How can I help you?
You're the same Balthazar who is the king's necromancer?
That's correct. Although as the royal necromancer, I suppose that I serve Edmund now.
The king is dead?
He wasn't a strong man. I think perhaps he had the plague at the end. It was befuddling his senses. The prince refused to assume the leadership from his father, so we followed the king until he died. Those were strange days. The king would lead us in circles as his mind slowly decayed. His death was inevitable. When someone contracts the plague, it is only a matter of time.
What is this plague?
We're not quite sure. For as long as I can remember, people have been falling prey to a mysterious sickness. We just call it the plague for lack of a better term. When someone contracts it, he dies days later. There is no cure. There doesn't seem to be any cause. It's not contagious in the usual sense. It strikes randomly. All of our efforts to learn more about it have proved futile. The plague has decimated our population. The dead far outnumber the living. Even if our world wasn't threatened by the imminent collapse of the Colossus, I question how long the plague will let us all live.
I've been to your home. I followed your directions here.
You followed my directions here? I'm glad that my journal served some purpose. If it helped to save one life, it was worth leaving behind.
Prince Edmund has told me quite a bit about you.
The prince is a good lad. A trifle young to be sure, but holding up remarkably well under the strain of leadership. The loss of his father has been hard on him. He wasn't meant to assume the crown for years to come. My thanks for your part in bringing him home.
I'd like to talk about something else.
Certainly.
What are you reading?
This is just one of my own books on magic. I'm trying to master one of the lost arts, illusion. I'm so close to the spell that I can taste it. A breakthrough last night has placed it just within reach.
What was this breakthrough?
I've been trying to construct the spell by taking a back route. I reasoned that if I discovered how to break an illusion, I might be able to build one. Last night, I happened upon the correct rune structure to unravel an illusion. Using this as a foundation, I should be able to construct the Create Illusion spell.
How long will it take to work out the new spell?
Only a couple of years. This breakthrough has shaved decades off my research.
A couple of years? How long do you expect to be around?
Oh, you're right. Sometimes I get too involved in my own work. With the Colossus corrupted, none of us will live out the year. But there's no use in wallowing in despair. I might as well continue, since it keeps me from dwelling on our fate.
What exactly is an illusion?
An illusion is a powerful spell speaking directly to the brain of higher life forms. The spell tricks the mind into viewing reality a certain way. An ancient adept at using the spell could create an illusionary cell around you. No bars or walls would actually exist, but your brain would tell you that they did. To make matters worse, it wouldn't matter if he told you that the cell was illusory. The spell convinces your senses, all of your senses, that the cell is there. Your hand wouldn't be able to pass through the bars, whether you believed in them or not. Like I said, the spell speaks directly to the brains of higher creatures. Lower animals, like that dog following you around, wouldn't be affected. But for the purposes of the ancient magi, that was enough. Do you see why it is so hard to identify an illusion? When all of your senses are telling you that something exists, there's no reason for doubt. You can't go around suspecting everything, and even if you did, your suspicions wouldn't have any impact on the illusion.
Have you tested your Unravel Illusion spell?
Well, no, I haven't found any illusions anywhere. Not that I would be able to recognize one if I saw it. That's the nature of illusions. The only other way to conjure an illusion is to create one. And since I can't do that yet, I have no way of testing my Unravel Illusion spell. Although all the signs indicate that it is complete, I'd love to find an illusion somewhere to try it out on. But who knows where the ancients decided to place their illusions, if anywhere.
This is getting too technical for me. Let's talk about something else.
Certainly.
What are those guys yelling about in the corner?
They're playing Rune Bone. It's some type of gambling game, I believe, very popular with the working class. Since there's not much to do here, they play it constantly. It's very distracting.
So this is home, eh? Nice decor.
There are worse places to live. As you know, Abarak is filled with warrens and tunnels. Most of them are larger, considerably more comfortable to live in. We constructed our city in one of those. These tunnels, although spacious enough to contain everyone from Telestia, are cramped, located too close to the lava of the Fire Sea, and have only one small, clean spring, providing scarcely enough water to sustain such a population for very long. Its only advantage is that the cavern is hidden. The entrance is nearly impossible to find along the extensive coast of the Fire Sea. It provides a perfect place to hide, which is exactly what we are doing.
Who are you hiding from?
From Clytus's forces, of course. If they found out where we were, they'd attack instantly. We'd be boxed in, trapped. We wouldn't last a day.
Thank you for your help. Perhaps we'll speak later.
As you wish.
The dog growls and backs away from the east wall, so Balthazar wants an illusion. The dog keeps staring at this wall for some reason, and from what he told us, lower life forms such as dogs are not affected by illusions. So let's see what the dog sees. Possession. A bitter, sharp odor draws your attention to the east. Through the dog's eyes, you see a small tunnel that you missed before, running into the cave wall. Dry, stale air from the opening carries a disturbing smell, an evil smell. You feel something very wrong about the tunnel to the east. You cannot force the dog's body into it. Perhaps it has more sense than you. Okay, so we see a tunnel, so it's an illusion.
Yes, what is it now?
Have you noticed anything unusual about that cave wall to the east?
Unusual? No, it's just a cave wall, one of many, actually. Why?
What would you say if I told you that it was an illusion?
I'd say, how can you possibly know that? Your brain can't distinguish reality from illusion. You are a higher life form, aren't you? That's just an assumption, mind you.
I've looked at it through the dog's eyes and it's not there. What do you think that means?
You mean you possessed the dog and he didn't see it? Yes, that would follow. The spell does not communicate with the lower life forms, and by possessing the body of such a form, you would bypass the magic of the illusion. You say it was the east wall. It's an illusion. Imagine. I've been sitting this close to an illusion every day, eager for a chance to test my unravel illusion spell. I'll try it now.
And this is how we'll learn the unravel illusion spell. Balthazar wanders over to the cave wall. He touches it, even pushes it with all his might. With a questioning look in your direction, he waves his hands about, tracing blue glowing lines in the air. When he has finished the final rune, the spell floats into the wall. The rock flickers, then dissolves like so much mist. Beyond you see a small crawlway stretching into darkness.
It worked! It worked! This is exactly what my research needed. Now that I know the unravel illusion spell is correct, it won't take long to finish the create illusion spell.
Balthazar dives back into his book and resumes reading with rekindled enthusiasm.
Yes, what is it now?
What are you reading?
This is just one of my own books on magic.
Why do you call them lost arts?
That's the frustrating part of this research. All of the magic arts that I've been uncovering were once known and practiced by the ancients. I'm walking over already trod ground. If only more of the texts had survived, I could simply read about these spells instead of having to reconstruct them from sketchy, half-destroyed notes.
Can I see your book?
I'm afraid not. I only lend my books to colleagues and apprentices. You know how valuable they are? Each contains a vital piece of information. Damage to even one of them could delay or completely halt my research.
Where are the rest of your books? I heard you have a whole library.
They are safe, buried in a secluded spot. I keep them guarded at all times. They are invaluable, and I won't risk damaging them.
What was this breakthrough?
I've been trying to construct the spell by taking a back route. I reasoned that if I discovered how to break an illusion, I might be able to build one.
This is getting too technical for
Yeah,
me. Let's talk about something else.
Certainly.
We talked about that.
Thank
Okay.
you for your help. Perhaps we'll speak later.
As you wish.
Okay, we got everything for now, so I'll end the episode here. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed some more Deathgate, and as usual, don't miss the next episode, because I won't. I will see you all next time.